Alright, what's up guys? So today I'm going to be showing you a very in-depth guide on how to set up a controller on DayZ. I'm going to be showing you everything about my layout, starting from scratch. So let me unplug this, turned off all the settings, and I'm going to go through and show you exactly what you need to do. So first you're on Steam. You're using a controller, so I would always recommend entering big picture mode. Alright, so now we're in big picture mode, and there's two things you can do. You can connect it with a USB or do Bluetooth. I would always recommend using a USB. You're going to have less latency, and you're just going to perform better in games. Controller connected, you can start moving around. So you're going to go ahead and hit circle or B on Xbox. Go to your settings on that little tab and then go to controller. So you want to go down to show advanced settings and you're going to see guide button focuses Steam. Turn that on. And depending on what controller you're using, so if you're using an Xbox controller, enable Steam input for Xbox controller. If you're using a PlayStation controller, like I am, enable it for PlayStation controllers, without support too. Alright, so enable guide button chords for controllers. This is crucial to what we're doing. So you see right now, I can hit the PlayStation home button. Nothing happens. So, I get a lot of comments on my last guide video that people can't get big picture mode working. They can't get the controller settings to pop up when they're in game. This is why. So go ahead and enable this and then go down to in game. Now, enable the Steam overlay while in game. Yes. Use the big picture overlay while using a controller. Scale Steam overlay text and icons to match monitor settings. Yes. Now, with all that stuff, you should be 100% good to go. Steam should work for you once we get in game. Just make sure you only have one game open, not two, or it might mess up. So, we're going to go into a DayZ server. And we're going to set everything up. I'm going to show you how to do every single bind that I use. And I have 3,000 hours on DayZ. I've been using controller the whole time. So we're going to go in here. I went ahead and put on a basic controller layout that you would start with. Everything's binded to controller right now. It's something you would start with whenever you first boot up the game. So now, when I press the PlayStation home button, it pops up this controller settings for me. So scroll over to controller settings, edit layout. Alright, so DayZ, it's pretty nice for controller because you can use controller inputs and mouse and keyboard inputs at the same time. So I like to keep my face buttons the same as they would be on console. Now, your left bumpers, you got to change those because they're not going to work exactly how they do in DayZ on console. So, for my bumpers, I put Q and E. That's how I lean. Now, for my start button, I put tab. So, the start button is going to be tab. I think I switched those around. So, no, I think I'm good. Okay, so tab on the start button and then escape on the select button over here. That's how I like to run it because I play claw, so I can easily hit the start button and open my tab to start looting and stuff like that. So now we're at the D-pad functions. So the D-pad is pretty straightforward on DayZ. It ports over from console pretty well. There's only a few things you need to change, if any at all. You really don't need to change anything. I think you can get away with this. So let's leave it like that for now. So I take off this right trigger because I don't want to send double inputs. And then this is, if you go into that little gear icon next to the triggers, you can set it up to have a trigger threshold that you like. So you can set it really low to where it activates the second you press it, which is what I like to do and what is best for FPS games, first person shooters. So you want to do that for both your triggers, and if it says analog off, make sure you put it on left trigger. All right. And now the joystick. So the normal joystick mode for DayZ is awful. Do not use normal joystick. Instead, you want to change it to a joystick mouse. So what this is going to do is it's going to change your right joystick from sending joystick inputs on a controller to now it's going to become a mouse. So you can go to the settings of the new mouse, pretty much your mouse joystick, and you can change the sensitivity whatever you want. And so this is going to be your stick curve. You can set it custom. So what I use on my layouts is I put it way down at 60 and per axis or circular. If you use per axis, it's going to make it to where your diagonals are a little slower, but I use circular. And you keep going down and you have your dead zone. So you can set a custom dead zone. Make sure you put this at 100, and you can set the inner dead zone to 1 or 2, whatever you need, wherever you don't have stick drift. So that's going to be your joystick, your right joystick. So for the joystick clicks, so I like to use number pads so I know nothing conflicts. So we'll put joystick click as number pad 1, and for the left stick, so you can use normal joystick mode on the left stick if you want, but that's not what I use. So if you've seen my moonwalking guides on DayZ, you know that I use my left stick as a directional pad. So you want to set up your WASD binds here, basically how you would on a keyboard. W's up, S is down, A is to the left, D is to the right. So, didn't mean to close that. All right, so outer ring command, you're going to use shift, which is going to be sprint. So for the outer ring command, you can change it. Go to the gear icon next to your directional pad. So 8-way overlap, what that does is whenever you push the stick forward, if you have this super low, your curves or your diagonals are going to be really pronounced. So whenever you turn it just a little bit to the side, if it's all the way to the bottom, it's going to be hard to go straight. If it's all the way to the right, then it's gonna be hard to do diagonals if possible at all. I haven't ran it at top completely maxed out, and I wouldn't recommend it, but I like around 2250. And then your dead zone, just like a joystick, put it to where you don't have stick drift, and it's you can comfortably move it. All right, and for the outer ring command radius, this is going to be where it sends the sprint. If you push so far forward on your stick, it's going to send shift, and you're going to sprint. So I like to keep that around 2800 so that when I'm barely holding it forward, I can just jog forward and I can eat on DayZ and different stuff like that. All right, so for your right stick, let's go ahead and set up the keybinds for the click. So we already have keypad 1 and we're going to need another. So go down here to add extra command and you'll have another command that you can add, and let's make it keypad 0. Now for keypad 0, we're going to change it from a regular press to a button chord. And I'll show you exactly what button chords do. So go back to the settings, and it's going to tell you, go to settings on here too. So you can select a button chord, and it's only going to send this keybind whenever you are clicking whatever you set here. So I put L2, left trigger, soft pull, and full pull. So you can just keep it on any chord sends it. So now we have keypad 1 set up here and keypad 0 on a button chord. Now come down to the left stick, we're going to do the same thing, except it's going to be keypad 2, and then add your extra command, keypad 3. Now change this to a button chord just like we did last time. Go to your settings, set the button chord to L2, soft pull, and full press. And this will make sense whenever we get into actually setting up the keybinds in game. So now, trackpad. If you're on a PlayStation controller, watch this. This will help you tremendously. If you're on an Xbox controller, you're going to have to find another way. I have another guide in my profile about setting up radial menus while you're on Xbox. But for PlayStation controllers, here is how I set up my keybinds for the trackpad, and this is what sets me apart from other creators. So I play claw, so I can come over to the touchpad and click it easily. So let me show you what I do. So create touch menu, name it weapons. Now in weapon settings, you're going to set up your keybinds for the buttons number 1 through 8, and that's how you're going to switch your hotkeys. So you're going to switch your guns, pull out items, stuff like that. So first one, not keypad, go on the keyboard, set it to 1, add virtual menu entry. You're going to do that every time you want to add a new keybind. So go up to the number 8. All right. So now this is completely set up, and you can reorder these however you want. So you just go to reorder menu inputs, and you'll see it on your screen how they're set up in the bottom left. You can also change your sensitivity for when you're on the touchpad. When you move around, you can change the sensitivity for that, and you can change how big the menu is and its position. but you'll see it whenever you go into game and you start moving around. All right, so for left trackpad, you're going to do the same thing but different inputs. So you're going to set up a new touchpad menu. You can call it whatever you want. This is where I'm going to have my extra commands, stuff I don't need in battle, and they're going to be on the left side of my touchpad. So right side is going to be weapons, hotkeys, changing the items that I have in my hotbar, and then this side will be extra commands like I use my map on it. So let's go ahead and set that up. So M for map. If you're playing modded, you'll have a map. If you're not, then don't worry about it, but it's nice to have. Another keybind I use is N, and that deafens the noise on modded servers. So say there's a heli going and it's really loud, you can hit N and it's gonna deafen it, so it's not blowing your eardrums out. And then another one I use here is L, and that's gonna be for your lights, NVGs, stuff like that. All right, and we'll leave it like that for now. If you have any extra keybinds that you need to set, you realize, oh, I don't have this and I want it, that's where you can do it. You can set up to 16 different buttons here on both sides. So 16, 16. So there's no game you can't play on a controller because you don't have enough inputs. You're always going to have enough inputs. Another thing you can do if you want to change your directional pad, like you want to add another one whenever you're holding L2, you can create a shift mode and go down to the settings on this shift mode that you made and put L2 soft pull and L2 full press. Now you can have completely different controls whenever you're holding the left trigger set to your key or your directional pad. But I'm not going to use that right now, but it's there. You know about it. You can use it to your advantage now. All right, so action sets. Action sets are crucial to what you're going to do on controller. It's the difference between a good setup and a bad setup. So add action set. You're going to name it menu. Now, before you leave this, make sure you click copy layout from set. So that set that we just set up, default, we're going to copy all the controls from it. And it's just going to make it easier because you're going to have stuff set already and you don't have to repeat what you already did. All right, then confirm, and you go down to global set options. Now look, action set when cursor is shown. You want to make that menu. So what that's going to do, when your cursor's on the screen, like you see my cursor in the middle right now, it's going to use the menu. So that's going to be for when you're looting or you're buying stuff from a trader, stuff like that. Anything your cursor's going to be on the screen, you're going to be using this menu. Now, action set when cursor is hidden, that's when you're running around killing stuff, playing DayZ, normally without a cursor on the screen, you're not in a menu. That's what you're going to use there. All right. So now that you have the menu copying defaults set up, go to menu and look. So X, you want to change X to be spacebar. And the reason for that is you can rotate things that you're putting into your inventory with X. So the menu for bumpers, I don't use Q and E. For this, I use scroll wheel. Scroll wheel up on L1 and scroll wheel down on L2 or R1. So you see how it keeps changing me. So be wary of the menu you're editing because it keeps putting me back on default when I'm trying to edit the menu. Just keep an eye on it. If you change something on accident, it's okay, just go back in the video, fix it. But so we got our scroll wheel set up. Now go to the settings on scroll wheel, because how it is right now, it's not going to work like a good scroll wheel. It's going to send one input and stop. So go to the settings, go to settings again, and hold to repeat turbo, and put that on the bottom. Now it's going to continuously send input for the scroll wheel so you can scroll easily. And you're going to want to do that for both of them. Alright, so since we copied from our last layout, it's already set up for escape and tab, so you can leave those menus. And then your D-pad, if you want to add another scroll, you can. If not, don't worry about it. You can set whatever you want here. And then for our triggers, this is important. You need these. Turn analog off, so we're on right trigger right now. Put soft pull as a left mouse click. And then if you don't see analog, leave like I just did and come back. And change analog off on left trigger as well, and put that to a right mouse click. Now, your joystick, what I like to do in the menu, make sure you're still in menu action set. It is pretty annoying that it switches it back and forth. Alright, well for right stick, make sure you're still in the menu action set. So we have it set up as a mouse, so it's going to work as a mouse. And for this in the menu for your clicks, you can take these off. What I like to do is put a left mouse click here, add an extra command, and put control. So what this does in game is when you click this on an item that's in your inventory, it drops it automatically. You don't have to drag it. And then for your left stick in the menu, something that's really good that I've been using, on your side-to-side movement on your directional pad, you have A to the left. So add an extra command to that and make it Q, which is lean to the left. And you want to do the same thing with the right side, except make it E to lean to the right. So if you want to set up a left stick click for the menu, you can. I don't use anything for it. So now you want to remember we have tab on escape. So hit escape or your select button. Now you can move around because you're in a menu with the action set menu. Now click on options, controls, configure keybinds. Now I'm going to reset this so that I'm going to go to default and reset. So this is what you're going to be looking at first time loading in. So let me go through and tell you what you need to set. So walk run modifier, you can set that up if you like. I don't use it. And your scroll works in here. So remember we have R1 on scroll down and L1 scroll up. So NVGs are set to L. We have that on our touchpad here. And then everything should be good there. Go to camera. This is where we need to change stuff. So eye focus you want to change to keypad 1, number pad 1. Free look modifier, take this off. Put it on keypad 2. Go ahead and apply those and then go to combat. So in combat, change toggle aiming down sights from left shift. That's one of those conflicting commands, and put it on number pad 0. Now let me check real quick because I can't remember what I put it on. Alright, so we see left joystick, keypad 3 is going to be our button chord, right? Yes, so that's going to be our hold breath. So keypad 3, go ahead and apply those, and it's as simple as that. I mean, the controller configuration being ported over helps a lot. So everything we do should be set up now. So you can reload. You can go into your menu, grab things, turn things. You can scroll up and down in your menu. You can shoot. You can go prone. You can crouch. You can jump, sprint. You can hold your breath. That is the basics of controller input. I hope you learned something. I hope you can take what I learned and bind it yourself now. So that should be everything you need for the basics of DayZ on controller. I hope this helped you. I put a lot of work into this. I reset everything. I'd appreciate it if you gave me some feedback. Let me know in the comments what I did wrong, what I should do better, and just let me know if this video helped you. But I appreciate you boys watching. I'll see you in the next one.